The diplomatic station floated in the darkness of space like a small moon made of glass and light. It orbited the planet called Four, a world rich in minerals and ancient secrets. For 300 years, they had used this station as a place of peace. Species from across the galaxy came here to talk, to trade, and to solve problems without violence. But today there was no peace. Ambassador stood at the observation window, her four eyes watching the ships that surrounded her station. 200 warships formed a wall of metal and weapons in every direction. Their dark hulls blocked out the stars. Their cannons pointed at the station like fingers of death. The Empire had come to take what they wanted. They did not ask, they demanded. "You have 12 hours," Commander had said in his message. His voice was cold like frozen stone. "Give us the research data on the ancient technology. Give us the location of the ruins on the planet below. If you refuse, we will destroy your station and take what we need from the ashes." Had sent messages to the Galactic Council immediately. She begged for help. She reminded them that they had no weapons, no warships, no way to fight. The station held 3,000 souls. Scientists, diplomats, families, children. They would all die if no one came to help. The council responded with debates. For 5 days, the great species of the galaxy talked and argued. They said it was not their problem. They worried about starting a war with the Empire. They calculated the cost of military action and found it too high. Everyone had reasons to do nothing. Watch the clock count down. 12 hours became 6. 6 became 3. In the communications center of the station, a young named sat at his console. He was barely 20 years old, just a junior officer. But he could not sit and wait to die. His hands moved across the controls, and he sent a distress signal on every frequency he could reach. Open channels, closed channels, emergency bands, even old frequencies that nobody used anymore. "This is station," he said into the microphone. His voice shook, but he kept talking. "We are under threat of destruction. 3,000 lives, please. Anyone help us." He sent the message again and again. Hours passed. No response came from anyone who could make a difference. Small cargo ships offered sympathy but no assistance. Distant colonies expressed horror but had no power to intervene. Then, when only 2 hours remained before the deadline, a signal came through. Almost missed it. The frequency was strange, one he had never seen used before. The signal was strong and clear despite coming from very far away. "Station, this is Captain Sung of the HSS Defiance. We have received your distress call. Hold your position. We are coming." Stared at his screen. HSS. Human starship. He pulled up everything the database had on humans. The information was limited. Humans were a young species, only part of galactic society for about 80 years. They operated cargo ships and transport vessels. They were known for being friendly and helpful but technologically simple. They had no military presence that anyone knew about. He rushed to tell Ambassador. The ambassador read the message with tired eyes. She had not slept in 3 days. Hope had left her heart many hours ago. She looked at and shook her head slowly. "One human ship," she said. "What can one human cargo vessel do against 200 warships? This is kind of them, but it is foolish. They will only add their deaths to ours." "Should I tell them not to come?" asked. Thought for a moment. "No, let them come. Perhaps they can carry some of our people away. Perhaps they can save a few lives before the end." She returned to the observation window and continued her watch. Aboard the flagship, Commander received a report from his sensor officer. A ship had been detected approaching the blockade at high speed. One ship. Small energy signature. No threat classification. Barely looked at the report. He was busy planning the destruction of the station. His deadline was almost here, and they had not surrendered. He would enjoy teaching them the cost of defiance. "What type of ship?" he asked without interest. "Unknown configuration," the sensor officer replied. "Registry identifies it as human." Laughed. It was a harsh sound like rocks grinding together. A human ship coming to save the with what? Trade goods, medical supplies. He waved his clawed hand in dismissal. Ignore it. If it gets in our way, destroy it. One shot should be enough. The hours continued to pass. The station grew quiet. Many gathered with their families. Some prayed to old gods. Others simply held each other and waited. Remained at her window. She watched the ships and waited for death to come. Then her communications device activated. It was again. Ambassador, the human ship will arrive in 10 minutes. They are asking us to remain calm and stay away from the outer sections of the station. Stay away from the outer sections, repeated. Why would they say that? I do not know. They also sent another message. They said to tell them that this is their only warning. They said they should leave now while they still can. Felt something strange in her chest. It took her a moment to recognize it. It was confusion mixed with the smallest seed of curiosity. One human ship is warning 200 warships to leave. Yes, Ambassador. Are humans known for mental illness? Checked his database. No, Ambassador. They are considered very practical and reasonable. Turned back to the window. In the distance, she could see the ships adjusting their positions. They had detected the approaching vessel too. Several warships were moving to intercept it. She opened a channel to the communications center. Patch me through to the human ship. A moment later, a voice came through. It was calm and steady, speaking in accented but clear galactic common. This is Captain Sung, Ambassador, I presume. Captain, I am grateful for your courage, but I must ask you to turn back. The will destroy you. There is no need for you to die with us. There was a pause. When the human spoke again, heard something in his voice that she could not identify. It might have been amusement. It might have been something else entirely. Ambassador, with respect, I think there has been a misunderstanding. We did not come here to die with you. We came here to make sure you do not die at all. Before could respond, every sensor on the station screamed with alerts. Something was happening in space. Something big. The human ship was about to arrive, and somehow, impossibly, the energy readings made no sense at all. Pressed her face closer to the window. In the distance, she saw a flash of light brighter than any star. The human ship was coming out of hyperspace. And nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. The flash of light filled the entire sky. Every sensor on the station went dark for 3 full seconds. Every screen on every warship turned to static. Even the stars seemed to disappear behind the wall of white energy that exploded across space. Then the light faded. The sensors came back online. An ambassador saw the human ship. Her 4 eyes opened so wide that it caused her physical pain. Her hands gripped the edge of the observation window. Her breath stopped in her throat. That was not a cargo ship. The vessel that floated in space before her was the largest warship she had ever seen. It was easily 10 times the size of the biggest cruiser. Its hull was covered in thick armor plates that looked like they had been through 100 battles. Scars and burn marks decorated its surface like medals of honor. Weapons lined every section of the ship. Cannons of types she had never seen before. Missile tubes that seemed to go on forever. Strange devices that glowed with blue energy. The ship was shaped like a giant blade, sharp at the front and wide at the back. It was painted in dark colors and black with lines of bright white. On its side, in letters tall enough to be seen from the station, was written the name, HSS Defiance. Could not speak, she could not move, she could only stare. Across the station, every person who could see a screen or a window reacted the same way. Scientists dropped their equipment. Diplomats forgot their words. Children pointed and asked their parents what that big ship was. On the flagship, Commander experienced the same moment of shock. He stood up from his command chair so fast that he knocked it over. His eyes, yellow and filled with hate, locked onto the image of the human battleship. "What is this?" he demanded. Our intelligence said humans have no military vessels. Commander, his sensor officer replied with a shaking voice, I am reading weapon signatures that I cannot identify, power levels that exceed anything in our database. That ship, that ship is more powerful than our entire fleet combined. Felt something he had not felt in many years. He felt doubt, but he was a commander. He had conquered worlds. He had burned cities. He would not show fear in front of his crew. Open a channel, he ordered. Demand that they identify themselves and withdraw immediately. The channel opened, spoke with all the authority he could gather. Unknown vessel, this is commander of the Empire. You have entered a military operation zone. Identify yourself and leave this area immediately, or you will be destroyed. The response came after a few seconds. The human captain's voice was calm, too calm. Commander, this is Captain Sung of the Human Defense Fleet. I have received a distress call from the station. I am here to answer that call. Your fleet is threatening innocent lives. You have one chance to withdraw peacefully. Take your ships and leave. This is not a request. Could not believe what he was hearing. One ship, even a large one, was telling 200 warships to leave. The human was either insane or stupid. You dare to threaten the Empire, shouted into the communicator. You are one ship against 200. Our fleet will tear you apart. Again that calm voice replied, Commander, I understand that you believe this. I am giving you a chance to reconsider. Look at your sensor readings. Look at my ship. Ask yourself if your fleet is enough. I will wait 60 seconds for your answer. The channel went silent. On the station, Ambassador finally found her voice. She contacted in the communications center. How is this possible? Our database says humans have no warships. How can this exist? The young was working frantically at his console. Ambassador, I am searching everything. Our records show that humans only operate civilian vessels, cargo ships, passenger transports, medical ships. There is no mention of any military anywhere. Either our information is completely wrong or what? Or humans have been hiding their true capabilities from the entire galaxy. Felt cold. If that was true, then everything she thought she knew about humans was a lie. But why would they hide? Why would they pretend to be weak when they had such power? The 60 seconds passed. Commander made his decision. All ships, he broadcast to his fleet, attack formation. Destroy the human vessel. Show them what happens when they challenge the Empire. 30 warships moved forward. They were the fastest and most deadly ships in the fleet. Their weapons charged with killing energy. They raced toward the Defiance like predators closing in on prey. On the human battleship, Captain Sung sat in his command chair. He was a tall man with short black hair and eyes that had seen many things. Around him, his crew worked at their stations with smooth efficiency. They are attacking, reported his tactical officer. She was a woman with sharp features and a sharper mind. 30 ships approaching. They will be in weapon range in 20 seconds. Hold position, Sung ordered. Let them fire first. Let everyone see. Are you sure, Captain? Asked one, the chief engineer. He was monitoring the ship systems from his console. Our shields can handle it, but the crew will feel the hits. I know, but the need to see this. The need to see this. The whole galaxy needs to see what happens next. The 30 ships reached firing range. Their weapons unleashed everything they had. Plasma bolts, energy beams, missiles, torpedoes. A storm of destruction flew toward the Defiance. On the station, watched in horror. She was about to see the brave humans die for trying to save them. The weapons hit the Defiance. Explosions covered its hull. Fire and light and smoke surrounded the ship completely. Closed 2 of her eyes. She did not want to see the ship break apart. Then the smoke cleared. The Defiance was still there. Its shields glowed with soft blue light, absorbing and dissipating the energy of every weapon that had struck them. The ship had not moved. It had not even tried to dodge. It had simply taken everything that could throw at it and shrugged it off like rain falling on a mountain. "Impossible," whispered. On the Defiance, Sung nodded once. "Return fire, disable only, no kill shots." "Understood, Captain." The Defiance fired. Had never seen weapons like this. Beams of golden light shot from the human ship with perfect accuracy. Each beam hit a specific target on a warship. Engines exploded. Weapon systems went dark. Power cores overloaded and shut down. The beams moved from ship to ship so fast that it seemed like a single continuous attack. One vessel after another went dead in space. Their weapons stopped firing. Their engines stopped burning. They became nothing but floating metal boxes drifting in the void. The whole attack took 47 seconds. 30 warships, some of the most powerful vessels in the Empire, were disabled without a single one being destroyed. Complete silence fell across the battlefield. On the flagship, Commander stared at his tactical display. His mouth hung open. His hands trembled. "Impossible," he said. "This is impossible." "Commander," his sensor officer reported, "the human ship is moving. It is coming toward us." Looked up at the main screen. The Defiance was indeed moving. Slowly, deliberately, it was not retreating, it was not running away. It was advancing. And Commander, conqueror of worlds, burner of cities, began to understand that he had made a terrible mistake. The Defiance moved through space like a beast walking through tall grass. Slow, patient, unstoppable, the disabled ships floated around it like broken toys left behind by a careless child. On the station, Ambassador finally turned away from the window. Her mind was racing with questions. She needed answers. She opened a communication channel to the human ship. "Captain Sung," she said, "I must understand. How is this possible? For 80 years, humans have been part of galactic society. We have traded with you. We have worked with you. Never, not once, did anyone see evidence of this. Where did this ship come from? Where did this power come from?" There was a moment of silence. Then a different voice came through the channel. It was softer than the captain's, belonging to someone younger. "Ambassador, this is Min, communications officer aboard the Defiance. The captain has authorized me to explain. Please listen carefully." Sat down. Her legs were too weak to stand anymore. 80 years ago," Min began, "humans made first contact with the galaxy. We were new, we were curious. We wanted to learn about the other species among the stars, so we watched, we listened, we studied." "What did you learn?" asked. "We learned that the galaxy is not a kind place. We saw how the strong treated the weak. We watched the Empire conquer smaller species and take their worlds. We saw the abandon allies when helping them became inconvenient. We observed the Galactic Council talk endlessly while innocent people suffered." Wanted to argue, but she knew the human was speaking the truth. "Humans are survivors," Min continued. "Our history on Earth taught us one important lesson. If you show your strength too early, others will see you as a threat. They will unite against you. They will try to destroy you before you become too powerful." "So you hid," said, understanding beginning to form in her mind. "Yes, we decided to appear weak. We showed the galaxy only civilian ships, cargo transports, medical vessels, passenger carriers. We played the role of a minor species, young and harmless. We traded fairly. We helped where we could. We made friends. But in secret. In secret, we built. For 80 years, humans have been constructing warships in hidden locations. We developed weapons that no one else has. We created shields that can absorb attacks that would destroy other vessels. We prepared for the day when we would need to protect ourselves or protect others." Thought about all the human traders she had met over the years. All the kind human doctors who volunteered on frontier worlds. All the human cargo captains who charged fair prices and delivered on time. They had all been part of this secret. An entire species pretending to be less than they were. "Why reveal yourselves now?" she asked. Why come to help us? They have no great value to humans. We cannot offer you power or wealth." This time Captain Sung himself answered. His voice was warm. "Ambassador, you do not understand humans very well yet. We did not come here for reward. We came because you asked for help. You sent a distress call. You said that innocent lives were in danger. That is reason enough." Felt tears forming in her eyes. In 300 years of diplomacy, she had never heard any species say such words. "But you could have stayed hidden," she said. "By revealing your strength, you change everything. Every species in the galaxy will now see humans differently." "Yes," Sung agreed. "But we spent 80 years building trust first. The galaxy knows us now. They know our cargo captains and our doctors and our volunteers. They know that humans are kind. They know that humans are fair. Now they will also know that humans are strong. We wanted them to know who we are before they knew what we can do." On the flagship, Commander was not listening to this conversation. He was screaming orders at his remaining captains. "All ships attack formation. Full assault. Everything we have. We outnumber them 170 to 1. No single ship can defeat our entire fleet." The warships began to move. They formed into attack groups, spreading out to approach the Defiance from multiple angles. Weapons charged. Engines burned hot. The entire fleet prepared for the biggest battle of their lives. High Admiral had finally arrived on the bridge of the flagship. He was the supreme commander of this operation, but he had been resting in his quarters when the human ship arrived. Now he stood beside, watching the tactical display with cold eyes. "What have you done?" asked quietly. "I have done nothing wrong, High Admiral. It is one ship, one ship. Even if it is powerful, it cannot possibly defeat all of us. When we destroy it, the humans will learn to fear the Empire." Was not so certain. He had risen to High Admiral by being cautious. He had survived many battles by knowing when to fight and when to retreat. Something about this situation felt wrong. "That ship let our first wave attack it," he said. "It did not try to dodge. It did not run. It stood there and took everything, then destroyed our ships in less than a minute. That was not a battle. That was a demonstration." "It was luck," insisted, "or tricks. Our full fleet will overwhelm them." Watch the Defiance continue its slow advance. The human ship showed no concern for the fleet gathering against it. On the Defiance, reported the situation. "Captain, they are preparing a coordinated assault. All remaining ships are moving into attack positions." Sung nodded. "Expected. What is the status of the reinforcements?" One checked his console. "Long-range sensors show 12 ships approaching. They will arrive in approximately 40 minutes. 12 more human battleships?" asked. "Yes, the HSS Resolute, the HSS Courage, the HSS Hope, and 9 others. Fleet Command dispatched them as soon as they received the distress call. We were simply the closest." Min looked at her captain. "Sir, should we tell the... If they knew more ships were coming, they might withdraw without further fighting." Sung considered this. He was a man who preferred peace to war. He had seen too much death in his years of service, but he also knew the mentality. "No," he decided. "The respect strength, not warnings. If we tell them ships are coming, they will see it as weakness. They will think we are afraid to fight alone. They need to learn what one human ship can do. Then, when the others arrive, they will understand that resistance is pointless." He opened a channel to the flagship one more time. "Commander, High Admiral, I know you are preparing to attack. I am asking you one final time to withdraw. I do not want to destroy your fleet. I do not want to kill your soldiers. Pull back now, and this can end peacefully." High Admiral answered this time. His voice was harder than filled with the pride of empire. "Human, you are brave, but you are foolish. You are one ship. We are 170. Mathematics does not lie. You will be destroyed, and then we will take the station anyway. Your sacrifice will mean nothing." Sung sighed. He had hoped it would not come to this. Very well, High Admiral. Remember that I gave you every chance. He closed the channel and looked at his crew. All stations battle ready. 1. Full power to shields and weapons. Standard engagement protocol. Disable, do not destroy unless necessary. Min, broadcast everything. I want the entire galaxy to see what happens here today. The crew responded with practiced efficiency. The Defiance came fully alive, every system operating at maximum capacity. The Battle of Four was about to begin. The fleet attacked like a wave crashing against a rock. Ships came from every direction, above, below, left, right. They fired everything they had. Plasma bolts filled the space around the Defiance like a storm of death. Energy beams cut through the darkness. Missiles flew in swarms, each one carrying enough explosive power to destroy a small city. On the station, Ambassador watched the battle unfold. She had never seen such violence. She had never imagined such violence was possible. The human ship was at the center of a hurricane of weapons fire. They cannot survive this, she whispered to herself. No ship can survive this. But the Defiance did survive. The ship's shields glowed bright blue as they absorbed attack after attack. The vessel twisted and turned, moving with a grace that seemed impossible for something so large. It was like watching a dancer move through a crowd, always finding space, always staying one step ahead. And the Defiance was not just defending, it was attacking. Golden beams of light shot out from the human ship in all directions. Each beam found its target with perfect precision. Ships lost their weapons. They lost their engines. They lost their shields. One by one, they became dark and silent, drifting helplessly in space. Captain Sung stood on the bridge, his eyes moving between multiple screens. He watched the battle like a chess player watching a game. Every move was calculated. Every shot was planned. Group 3 coming from below, reported. 20 ships, heavy weapons. Target their power cores, Sung ordered. Shut them down before they can fire. The Defiance rolled, exposing its underside weapons. A dozen beams fired at once. The attacking ships sparked and flickered as their power systems failed. They coasted past the human battleship, unable to do anything but watch. Group 7 approaching from starboard, continued. They are trying to ram us. Let them get close, then hit them with the pulse wave. The ships accelerated toward the Defiance, clearly planning to crash into its hull. At the last moment, a ring of blue energy expanded from the human ship. It struck the attacking vessels and pushed them away like leaves in a strong wind. Their systems went dead from the electromagnetic pulse. On the flagship, High Admiral watched his fleet fall apart. 60 ships were already disabled. 70, 80. The human vessel was dismantling his forces with terrifying efficiency. This is impossible, Commander said. His voice had lost all its confidence. How are they doing this? Did not answer. He was studying the battle patterns, trying to understand the human tactics. What he saw chilled his blood. The humans were not trying to kill anyone. Every shot was aimed at non-vital systems. Weapons, engines, shields, never life support, never the bridge, never the crew quarters. The humans were fighting an entire fleet and deliberately avoiding casualties. This was not mercy, realized. This was a message. The humans were showing that they could destroy the fleet any time they wanted. They were choosing not to. They were making the live so they could tell others what they had seen. All remaining ships, ordered, fall back. Defensive formation around the flagship. High Admiral asked in surprise, "We are retreating. We are regrouping. Look at your numbers, Commander. We have lost 100 ships in 15 minutes. The human vessel has not even been scratched. If we continue like this, we will have no fleet left." The surviving ships pulled back. They formed a protective circle around the flagship, their weapons pointed outward like the spines of a frightened animal. The Defiance stopped its advance. It floated in space, surrounded by the debris and the drifting hulls of disabled enemy vessels. On the station, cheers erupted from the watching crowds. Scientists hugged each other. Children laughed and pointed at the screens. Ambassador allowed herself to feel hope for the first time in days. But on the Defiance, the crew knew the battle was not over. "Damage report," Sung requested. One checked his systems. Shield generators are holding at 62%. Minor hull damage on decks 7 and 12. Nothing critical. But Captain, if they make another coordinated attack, our shields will not hold forever. Understood. How long until the reinforcements arrive? 25 minutes. Sung nodded. 25 minutes was a long time in battle, but he had faith in his ship and his crew. Then Min spoke up. "Captain, I am detecting a communication between the flagship and their home world. They are calling for reinforcements of their own." "How many ships?" "Unknown, but the Empire has thousands of warships. If they send even a fraction of their fleet here." Sung understood the problem. One human battleship could defeat 170 vessels, but if they sent 500 ships or 1,000, the math would change. He made a decision. "Open a channel to the station. Ambassador, can you hear me?" Responded immediately. "Yes, Captain, we are watching. We are amazed. We are grateful." "Ambassador, I need you to understand something. We can win this battle, but they may call for reinforcements. More ships could come, many more. I need to know if you can help me end this quickly." "How? They have no weapons." "You have something better. You have a voice. The galaxy trusts you are respected as honest and fair. I need you to broadcast what is happening here. Send images, video, everything. Show the galaxy what they have done. Show them what humans can do. Make sure everyone sees." Understood. If the galaxy saw this battle, they would face pressure from every direction. Other species would demand they stop. The leadership would have to choose between one blockade and their reputation. "I will do it," she said. "I will make sure everyone knows." Within minutes, the communication systems were broadcasting across every channel in the galaxy. Images of the Defiance fighting against impossible odds spread from world to world. Species that had ignored the distress call now watched in shock as a single human ship defended the innocent. On the flagship, received reports that the broadcast was everywhere. The entire galaxy was watching him lose. High Admiral said, "We should destroy the station to stop the broadcast and prove that we are the villains in this story. No, the humans have outmaneuvered us. They are not just fighting with weapons. They are fighting with information. They are making us look like monsters while they look like heroes." Was a proud, but he was also intelligent. He saw now that this battle could not be won. Even if he destroyed the human ship, the damage to the Empire's reputation would be enormous. And looking at his tactical display, he was not certain he could destroy the human ship anyway. 70 functional ships remained from his fleet of 200. The human vessel was still operating at nearly full capacity. Then one's voice came through the bridge of the Defiance with excitement. "Captain, long-range sensors are picking up new contacts. Multiple ships approaching at high speed." "The reinforcements?" Sung asked. "No, sir," one was smiling. "The signatures are human. Our reinforcements are early, 12 battleships arriving in 4 minutes. Sung allowed himself a small smile. The odds were about to change dramatically. "Min, open a channel to the flagship. Let them know what is coming." Received the transmission. He listened to the human captain explain that 12 more human warships were moments away. His 70 ships would soon face 13 vessels like the Defiance. For the first time in his long military career, High Admiral felt truly defeated. The 12 human battleships arrived like thunder from a clear sky. They dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation, surrounding the survivors from every direction. Each ship was as massive as the Defiance. Each one carried the same terrible weapons. Each one glowed with the same quiet power. High Admiral looked at his tactical display. 70 ships now faced 13 human battleships. The mathematics were no longer complicated. They were impossible. Captain Sung opened a final communication channel. High Admiral, you have fought well. Your soldiers have shown courage, but this battle is over. I am offering you terms. Not surrender, just withdrawal. Take your ships and leave this system. Return to space. Do not come back. If you accept, you will be allowed to leave safely. Your disabled ships will be towed to a safe distance and released. Stood silent for a long moment. Every officer on his bridge was watching him. The weight of empire rested on his shoulders. Pride demanded that he fight to the death, but wisdom told him that death was all fighting would bring. "And if I refuse," he asked, "then my fleet will disable the rest of your ships just as I did before. No one else needs to die today, but if you force us to fight, we will do what we must." Commander stepped forward. "High Admiral, we cannot accept this shame. The Empire will never forgive us for retreating." Turned to look at his subordinate. "The Empire will have to forgive us, Commander, because if we fight, there will be no one left to return home. Our soldiers will die. Our ships will be destroyed. And for what? They will still be saved. The humans will still win. The only difference is how many families will lose their fathers and mothers and children." He turned back to the communication screen. "Captain Sung, I accept your terms. We will withdraw." The tension on both sides slowly released. Ships began to power down their weapons. Human vessels held their positions but did not fire. True to his word, Sung ordered his ships to help tow the disabled vessels to safety. Within hours, the fleet was gone. 130 ships limping back toward their home space. 70 of them had to be towed by the others. The greatest military force the Empire had ever sent to a single operation was retreating in defeat. On the station, the celebration was unlike anything Ambassador had ever seen. 3,000 souls who had been waiting to die were now dancing, crying, laughing. Families held each other. Friends embraced. The nightmare was over. Requested permission to board the Defiance. She needed to thank the humans personally. She needed to understand them better. Captain Sung welcomed her aboard. The interior of the human battleship surprised her. She had expected cold military efficiency. Instead, she found warmth. The corridors were decorated with photographs and art. The crew quarters were comfortable and personal. The mess hall smelled like home cooking. These were not just soldiers. They were people, families. They had lives beyond war. Sung led her to an observation deck where they could speak privately. Through the windows, she could see the station, safe and intact. "Captain," she said, "I have been a diplomat for 300 years. I have met thousands of species. I have never met anyone like humans." Sung smiled. "Is that good or bad?" "I am not sure yet. What you did today was extraordinary. You saved my people. But you also deceived the entire galaxy for 80 years. You pretended to be weak when you were strong. How can we trust you now?" It was a fair question. Sung had expected it. "Ambassador, let me ask you something. Before today, what did you think of humans?" Considered the question. "I thought you were kind, helpful, honest in trade, friendly, simple but good." "And were we wrong to make you think those things?" "No, those things are true." "Exactly." Sung looked out at the stars. "We did not lie about who we are. We only hid part of what we can do. Humans are kind. We are helpful. We are friendly. We are also strong. We simply chose to show you our heart before we showed you our fist." Thought about this. In her centuries of experience, she had seen many powerful species. Almost all of them used their power to take, to control, to dominate. There were perfect examples. They had strength, and they used it to hurt others. But humans had chosen differently. They had built the greatest fleet in the galaxy and kept it hidden. They had spent 80 years proving they could be trusted. And when they finally revealed their power, They used it to save strangers who could offer them nothing in return. "Why did you come?" she asked. "Truly, they cannot help your species. We have no military value. We have no great resources. Why risk exposing your secret for us?" Sung was quiet for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was soft. "My grandmother was born on Earth in a country called Korea. When she was a child, her village was threatened by a flood. The river rose too fast. Everyone would have drowned. But farmers from the next village came to help. They worked through the night, building walls, carrying children, saving everyone they could. They had nothing to gain from helping. They just knew it was right." He turned to face. "Humans do not help others because we expect something in return. We help because we remember what it felt like to need help. We help because we hope that someday, if we need help, someone will come for us too. We help because that is who we choose to be." Felt tears falling from all four of her eyes. In 300 years, she had never heard anything so simple and so beautiful. "The galaxy will change now," she said. "Everyone saw what happened today. Everyone knows about human strength. What will you do?" "We will do what we have always done. We will trade fairly. We will help where we can. We will protect the innocent. The only difference is that now people will know not to threaten us or our friends." News of the Battle of Four spread across the galaxy in days. Every species saw the images of the Defiance standing alone against 200 enemy ships. Every species heard the story of how humans had hidden their power for 80 years. Every species had to reconsider what they thought they knew. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. For the first time ever, they invited humans to join as full members with complete military alliance rights. The invitation was not offered out of fear, though fear certainly played a role. It was offered out of respect. Humans had proven that power and kindness could exist together. They had shown that strength did not require cruelty. They had demonstrated that the most powerful fleet in the galaxy could be built by a species that preferred peace. Ambassador returned to the station as the human fleet prepared to depart. She recorded a message for the archives, knowing it would be studied by her people for generations to come. "For centuries," she said, "we searched the stars for protectors. We looked among the ancient species. We looked among the powerful empires. We never found what we sought. We never imagined that our protectors were already beside us, disguised as traders and doctors and friends. The humans taught us something important today. True strength is not about the weapons you carry. True strength is about the choices you make. The humans chose to be kind when they could have been cruel. They chose to help when they could have looked away. They chose to save us when no one else would. I do not know what the future holds for the galaxy, but I know this. As long as humans are among the stars, the innocent will have champions, the desperate will have hope, and the darkness will have something to fear." The HSS Defiance powered up its engines. Its sister ships formed around it. Together, they turned toward the distant stars and jumped into hyperspace. They left behind a galaxy that would never see humanity the same way again. And somewhere on the station, a young communications officer named looked up at the stars and smiled. He had sent a desperate cry for help into the void. And the humans had answered.